What's going on, you guys? This is All Day Day 1 of the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you guys another Ghost Recon Breakpoint video. So with this video I'm going to be giving you guys is going to be a post-patch version of the DMR glitch. So the DMR glitch was patched in the one before the Terminator update, or as soon as the Terminator update had happened, the DMR glitch had been patched. But the thing is, there's another version of the DMR glitch that works the same way. It gives you the same buffs, everything, but it's slightly different, just slightly different, not too much. It's easier, but it does require both people to actually do something. So you got to make sure you are in a group, for one. You got to make sure you have a DMR or a sniper, whichever one you prefer using, for two. And then the third option, or the third thing, not third option, but the third thing you got to make sure is you have a sharpshooter. You have to be a sharpshooter. You can't be anything else at the moment. But I'm going to go ahead and explain everything more in detail. And last thing I want to make sure I mention is I want to give a huge shout out for Evie for giving me the info and helping me out do this glitch, so that way I can post it for you guys. Now I do want to make sure you guys know that this is a bannable thing. You know, exploiting in any game in general is bannable, especially if you're doing it in a competitive type of deal. If you're doing it in something like, you know, PvE solo type of things, most of the time, like 99% of the times, you will normally never get banned. But if it is in a competitive area like PvP or like some type of leaderboards or whatever, you can technically get banned for doing so. It's happened in other games like For Honor. Yeah, in For Honor there was exploits that had happened there, and it's a game created by Ubisoft, and people used exploits on there and then they got banned because it's a PvP game, and that also had tournaments and stuff. So if you want to use this glitch, if you want to use this exploit in PvP, don't be mad that you get banned or anything like that, because I did warn you, and many people have as well. And also, it's much easier to get caught doing this in PvP because people can inspect your gear. They can see your weapon, so they see your weapons at 229 or 269 or whatever it is. You know, it's kind of on you for doing that. If you do this in the PvE though, if you do this, you know, solo, that's for you. It doesn't matter. Nobody else is getting affected. If you are doing this in the raid, I would highly recommend to make sure the others you're in the raid with are willing to do it as well, or have you they just don't mind or don't care that you're doing this in the raid. Now if you're doing this with other people in the raid that don't want to do this, then it's kind of, you know, it kind of sucks. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and go right into it. So yeah, alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys this step by step on how this works. So for step one, make sure you're in a group. You can easily go into your community page. If you're on PlayStation, like the PlayStation community, you can just go to Erewhon maybe and just see who wants to do this. If you have friends, or if you're on the Discord, or if you are in the YouTube comments and stuff, you can just find somebody there that is willing to do this. You can always go to join public matchmaking, but the thing is, that's kind of like a 50-50 thing. You're not gonna really find someone that is gonna be willing to do this, let alone even know about it. So your best bet is to find someone that you are grouped to, that you're friends with, or Discord, someone that's willing to actually help you out with this. Step two, make sure you are playing a sharpshooter. You cannot be playing any other class to apply this glitch, because you kind of need the armor buster rounds to use it, to apply the glitch on. If you play assault, it's not going to work. If you play whatever else, it's not going to work. You need to be a sharpshooter in order to apply the glitch. The next thing is make sure your technique gauge is full. So if the technique gauge is not full, you can tell if it's full. If you've been playing this game for, I don't know, more than an hour, you'll know what the technique gauge is. It's on the bottom left corner of your screen. If it's blue and it's glowing, then that means it's full. If it's not, then it's not. So the next step is you got to make sure you have a DMR or a sniper. If you are not using the DMR or sniper, then this is also not going to work, because the armor buster round only works on the DMR and the snipers. It does not work on the MK14 termination though. So that is this weapon right here. It's not going to work on here. It would be really nice if it did, but it doesn't. But it works on any other DMR, any other snipers. So make sure when you do have your DMR, make sure it's on your hand first, the first hand, your main hand, the one that you're holding. So you do that, use your technique gauge. Alright, so now that you do that, you're going to go ahead and go to your inventory, but do not switch weapons. You're going to go to your inventory and then go to the gunsmith. Do not switch out any of the mods. Leave the mods the way they are. So once you do this, you can see the damage is at 234 right off the bat. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure the second person pulls you into the bivouac. So don't leave the menu, don't do any of that. Just make sure you stay in your gunsmith, and then after you are in your gunsmith, you can just tell them, alright, I'm ready, or pull me in, or whatever, and then they pull you in. Make sure you guys are near each other, so that way you can get pulled in. You can skip the cutscene. Obviously I didn't because I was explaining all that, but you can skip the cutscene, it doesn't affect anything. And then as soon as you're in the bivouac, just go ahead and break camp. You don't need to do anything else. So once you break camp, you're going to go ahead and check your damage and make sure it's applied. Because if it's not, then, well, you had to have done something wrong. But as you can see, it's at 234 damage per bullet still. And the range is maxed, everything is good. I'm going to go ahead and shoot a few rounds. Normally it's only 3 rounds that the armor buster rounds would take. But as you can see, I'm still at 234 and I shot off like 12 rounds or something. So yeah, the DMR glitch is going to be working as soon as you just do all those little steps. Now the last thing I want to mention is you can actually go ahead and switch your class out now. So I'm going to go ahead and open the bivouac again. So I'm going to go ahead and go to assault, and my assault isn't even using any of the weapons or any of the DMRs. So you're going to see real quick, now I'm playing assault. And I have the AK-47 assault and the Bosch G12 equipped. Go ahead and leave. Now, the way this works though is you're gonna just go ahead and equip the weapon back on the 5.53 Scout or whatever weapon it is that you're using, because it's not applied to the class, it's applied to the weapon. So where is it? Right over here. So as you can see, it's still at 234 damage per bullet. My 416 is at 34. So you can definitely tell which one is glitched and which one isn't. And then, yeah, so once you do all that, you're going to be able to equip your weapon bag and go to any class that you want to go to. The last thing I want to mention is this also does not work in the raid bivouacs. So you have to apply this glitch before you go into the raid, before you do any of that, before you go into PvP, whatever. You have to apply it to the bivouacs just in the normal island. It doesn't matter which island you're at, just any bivouac works. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and recap real quick. Step 1, make sure you're in a group. Step 2, make sure you're a sharpshooter. Step 3, make sure you have a full technique gauge. Step 4, use the technique gauge on your DMR or sniper on hand that you want to use. Step 5, no need to switch weapons. Open the gunsmith, do not change your mods. Step 6, have the second person pull you in the bivouac, so make sure you are near each other. This cannot work in the raid bivouacs as well. Step 7, obviously you just close the bivouac, you don't need to do any arrangements or anything. Step 8, check your damage. And yeah, you can change your class anytime you want. So that is pretty much it, step by step, on how this works. I do want to make sure you guys know that if you do use this in PvP, you can get banned. Or just using it anywhere in general, because exploits are exploits. You're not allowed to do it. But, you know, people do it because it makes the game sometimes more fun, easier. Sometimes they don't have the time to do a full raid mechanic, or to learn the full raid mechanics and stuff. They just want to get the game done and whatever. Doing PvP, if you do it in PvP, then I mean you're kind of a D-bag. You do that a-hole, you don't want to get demonetized, so pretty sure you know what I mean. But yeah, that's pretty much it with this video. Hopefully this video gets sent out and it gets popularized, so that way Ubisoft can see this and see how it works and patch it. But that's pretty much it. This is all Day1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.